Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Efe and this is my kitchen, Efe Food Kitchen. In this video I'm going to be making air fryer potato wedges. So in front of you are the potatoes I'll be using, and also have a bunch of other spices too, which I'm going to introduce to you. And here they are. I have my cayenne pepper. My cayenne pepper is there. I have my garlic powder. I have my smoked paprika. I have my salt. I like using low sodium salt or white or pink Himalayan salt, but that's just my preference. But feel free to use any salt of your choice. I'm using some parsley, and I'm also using a bit of sage. Last but not least, I am using olive oil. So without further ado, let's start on this recipe because I don't really want to make it too long. Okay, so these potatoes have already been washed. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut them into wedges. They've been washed thoroughly. I'm just going to be cutting them into wedges. I'm not going to take the skin off because traditionally the skin is left on. But obviously that is after you've already washed it thoroughly. So they've been washed thoroughly. I just soaked them in some warm water, washed it, and just sprinkled a bit of salt. Just scrubbed it, made sure it was nice and clean, and it's done. So, and I dried it with a paper towel as well. So now I am going to cut them into wedges. So I'm just going to cut them in half first. And I'm going to cut it. So that's one wedge. I'm doing large wedges, by the way. So I'm doing chunky size wedges. And I want them a bit even so they're almost the same. So that one, we won't be needing that. Actually, we will be needing it. There's no waste, not in this economy. So I'm going to show you how I did that again. This time I'm going to show another style. I'm going to cut that in half again and then angle it. So now, as you can see, I've finished cutting the potato wedges. So the next thing I am going to do is put some olive oil on it. The reason why I'm putting olive oil is so the spices will stick to it. So I'm adding about half a tablespoon or so, not too much, into the potato wedges that I've cut. And the next thing that I'll be doing is mixing it so everything is combined, making sure the oil goes everywhere on the potato so that by the time I put my spice mix, it will stick to it. So that's what I'm doing right now, and obviously shaking it to make sure it goes everywhere, it's well combined. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is making my mix. So that's what I'm going to be using, that bowl in front of you that you can see. So the first thing that is going into the bowl is my cayenne pepper. I'll say give or take about a tablespoon of that goes into the bowl. And the next thing going in is the smoked paprika. I think that's another tablespoon as well, because as you can appreciate, the wedges are quite a lot, so we need to make sure it's well coated and well spiced. But by all means, do it according to your taste. If you want to put less, you can put less. If you want to put more, you can put more. You're in control. It's your kitchen. The next thing going in is the sage. I just like the taste of sage. It just gives a bit of lovely taste to whatever it is that you add it to. So I'm adding a bit of that. I'm using a teaspoon for this one. So I'm using a teaspoon of that, not too much. And then the next thing going in is salt. I always like to use either low sodium salt or pink or white Himalayan salt. So for this, I am going to be using a heaped teaspoon. As you can see, the size of the wedges, that's quite a lot. It might look like a lot of salt, but trust me, it's not too much because you need to season it. And if you cook something well and there's no salt, it doesn't taste nice. And the next thing that I've just put in now is my garlic powder, and because I love garlic, I put a little bit extra as well. So now I'm going to be giving that a mix, very good mix, to make sure it's all combined. Now I'm tasting for salt, just to make sure there's enough salt, and there wasn't, so I just added just a tiny bit more, just to make sure that there's enough salt, not too much salt. But what you don't want to do is cook or make something without any salt. And then the last thing going in is parsley. Oh my god, parsley and potato wedges are a match made in heaven. They just go so well together. So I'm adding a teaspoon of that into the mix and giving that a final stir, making sure everything is combined together, and we're very close to seasoning our potatoes. So there we go. It's going to go in now. I forgot about my cornstarch. Yes, cornstarch. I even forgot to mention that as part of the ingredients here. Cornstarch is going into the mix as well, because that will make it extra crispy and just gives that a little edge, So I'm going to be putting that. If you don't have cornstarch, you can use flour as well, but I chose to use cornstarch. So I'm going to be using a tablespoon of cornstarch to the dry mix, So basically, this will just give it a bit of crispiness. So that's a heaped tablespoon of it, the cornstarch. So I'm mixing that in now. So that is going to go into the potato wedges that I've cut. This is a very simple dish that you can make. So if you didn't want to have French fries, if you didn't want to have chips, you can make this instead, and and you're good to go. So that goes into the wedges, and then you're going to be giving that a mix, thorough mix, to make sure it's all combined together. Use your tongs, or if you want to use your hand, you can use your hands as well, as long as it's clean hands, washed clean hands. But I'm choosing to use my tongs for this, making sure it's all combined. So I'm going to be using my tongue, and then I'm also going to be shaking it as well, so the every area of the wedges is covered with this beautiful, delicious mix. And as you can see, I'm giving it a shake to make sure everywhere is combined. As you can see, that's where the oil helped, because obviously the oil will make it stick to it. If I hadn't added the oil, then it would be hard for it to actually stick. All the mix would have just gone to the bottom of the bowl, and you don't want that. You want it to stick to the actual potatoes, or whatever it is that you want the spices to season. So that's what I'm doing, giving it a shake, giving it a mix, making sure it's all combined together. And very soon we'll have our lovely, delicious, crispy, crunchy wedges ready. And as you see, I just love parsley so much, so I'm adding a bit more as well. There's just something about parsley that I like. If you don't have dry parsley, by all means you can use the fresh one, but just try and make sure that it's chopped finely. So that's what I'm doing. So right now I've now changed to my spoon, so I'm now using my spoon instead to make sure it's all combined together. And then it's going to be going into the air fryer, because obviously this is air fryer potato wedges, so we're going to be cooking this in the air fryer. So now it's time to load the potato wedges into the air fryer. And the reason why I am using the air fryer without putting some foil paper or greaseproof paper is because I want it to be crispy. So obviously it will sit on the basket, and any excess oil will then drip to the bottom, making it crispy. So this is what I'm doing. So I'm loading it in, and it's going straight into the air fryer. Halfway through, I'll bring it out, and shake it like I'm doing right now, and then put it back. So it's cooking for 25 to 30 minutes at 175 degrees until it's nice and crispy. And while the potato wedges are in the air fryer, now is the time for me to make the sauce to go with it. So for this sauce, it's going to be a very simple sauce, and our air fry potato wedges is ready. How lovely does that look? Look at it. See how brown and crispy. Oh, this is just heaven on a plate, if I say so myself. So we're going to make our sauce now, which is going to be the easiest sauce ever to have this potato wedges with. And as you can see, you know how much I love my parsley. I'm also going to be putting a bit more parsley on it as well. I just love parsley with potato wedges, salmon, things like that. So I just love it. I don't know, that's just me anyway, but I'm sure if you try it with parsley, you will love it as well. So now it's time to make our sauce. So for this sauce, you need 3 things. I'm sure most houses have ketchup, so you're going to put some ketchup. The next thing that you're going to put is some mustard. This is French mustard, so you're going to put some mustard in with the ketchup. And then the last thing that goes in after the mustard is mayonnaise. And that's it. And then our sauce. So basically just ketchup, yellow French mustard, and mayonnaise. And that's it. And that's all you need. By all means, you can make another sauce if you like, but this is what I like to eat it. Or sometimes if I don't use this, I use sour cream, just sour cream, and then with a bit of salt and a tiny bit of pepper, and cut some chives in it, cut it finely and put in it. So that's it basically. So just 3 things, and that's it: ketchup, mustard, French mustard, and mayonnaise. And there you have it. That's your sauce. That's our sauce. And you mix it. Just give it a very good mix, and you have your sauce. Because at the end of the day, you need to make a sauce. If not, it'll be very dry. You want to dip it into something, so it's not too dry, and make your throat dry too. And that's it. Let's taste. And that tastes amazing. It just has the perfect balance of sweet and sour. Okay, so our sauce is made, our potato wedges is ready, and we're done. So I'm going to be putting it into my little sauce pot, so at least you have something to dip with. So now our sauce is done. So let's arrange our potato wedges nicely on the plate. Time to plate up. So I'm just putting the wedges on the plate. And there you have it. Our air fryer potato wedges is ready. Look how delicious that looks. Nicely browned, nicely crispy. I know you can't smell it, but the aroma coming out of my kitchen right now can't be put in words. Just so amazing. This is a perfect snack that you can make, and it doesn't take long at all. I think everyone needs to have an air fryer. I'm sorry, it's just something that every kitchen needs to have, because of the extreme heat, the high heat that it cooks the food. It doesn't take long, and it cooks it so fast, and it cooks it from the inside. As long as you don't make the air fryer temperature too high, it will cook from the inside. That's it, guys. Our air fryer potato wedges ready. Tasted amazing, and the sauces were perfect as well. So guys, if you like this video, please give your girl a big thumbs up, like the video, leave your comments and share, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.